It looks like it's over. The regime that swore it would burn the entire Middle East to the ground, the regime that boasted it would close the Strait of Hormuz to inflict pain upon the entire world, that vowed to rain down missiles on every American base from Kuwait to Bahrain, that regime just reportedly sent a secret message to the CIA begging for mercy. After years of opportunities and off-ramps, they're now crawling to the table, groveling. And you know what President Trump just said? Too late. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you rightly understand what's arguably the most extraordinary 24 hours of this entire war, with breaking news and analysis you're not going to get anywhere else. So you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Let's start with the latest on that secret message. According to the New York Times, operatives from Iran's Ministry of Intelligence reached out to the CIA through a third country's intelligence service to explore possible conditions for ending the war. So, of course, this contradicts the public face of Iran. The leaders of that regime, or what's left of the regime, have been defiant. But apparently, behind closed doors, the intelligence ministry, the regime's inner circle, has been secretly reaching out to the very agency that ironically helped pinpoint Khamenei's compound. Now, when Trump found out that Iran was indeed signaling it wanted to talk, he didn't respond with diplomacy. He didn't send Witkoff on a plane. He posted on Truth Social, their Air Force, their defense, their Navy, their leadership, it's all gone. They want to talk. I said, too late. Now, that is textbook escalation strategy, okay? You see, in any high-stakes negotiations, the side that's the first to blink, the side that's the first to formally propose concrete concessions, signals that they have lost the leverage game. In other words, the side that blinks first loses any and all leverage. And that's because why compromise when the other side is already demonstrably conceding? Once you've signaled weakness by making the first concession, the other side knows you're at your breaking point, and they can wait you out even further. And that's precisely what President Trump appears to be doing here. But it gets even worse, because then just hours after that story broke, Iran's deputy foreign minister went on Sky News Arabia and said, and this is the quote from Sky News, Iran is ready to abandon its nuclear program on condition that the United States presents a satisfactory alternative offer. Now, immediately, Iranian officials said that his comments were taken out of context, that he was talking about the earlier negotiations with Witkoff and Kushner, that there are no new proposals on the table. But needless to say, that backpedaling is being met with quite the dose of skepticism. It's just a total coincidence, of course, that the deputy foreign minister made those comments on day 6 of Operation Epic Fury, while Iran's military infrastructure is being systematically obliterated. I mean, it's just a coincidence that this came hours after the secret CIA back channel was reported on and exposed. Trump himself commented on it and, of course, dismissed it, saying too late. So I think it's safe to say that these talking points are more an admission that this is a regime signaling surrender. Let me give you some of the numbers here because they're absolutely staggering. According to U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, as of this week, Iran's ballistic missile launches are down 86% from the first day of fighting. Their one-way attack drone launches are down 73%. The IDF has reported destroying 300 Iranian missile launchers since the conflict began, which corresponds to a 70% drop in missile fire toward Iran. And according to a brand new analysis from the Jewish Institute for National Security of America, 75% of Iran's entire launch capacity has been destroyed. Let that hit you. Again, according to this analysis, in a matter of 6 days, 3/4 of Iran's ability to even fire a missile is gone. And the Iranian Navy, the very muscle they used to threaten to close the Hormuz, Admiral Brad Cooper, the commander of U.S. Central Command, confirmed that over 20 Iranian naval vessels have been destroyed, including Iran's most operational submarine. And here's the line that says it all. Again, this is from Admiral Cooper. He stated that there is currently not a single Iranian vessel underway in the Arabian Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz, or the Gulf of Oman. Not one, not a single ship. And it's not just what they've lost. It's what they can't replace, right? It's the fact that they cannot replace it. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth explicitly listed destroying Iranian missile production as a core U.S. objective. The IDF struck multiple missile production facilities in Tehran on March 2nd and 3rd, including the production center in the Kojir area. That's the IRGC's main production center for solid missile fuel and a chemical factory producing missile components. Iran's drone launch sites were hit from the opening hours of Operation Epic Fury. This is fundamentally a war of attrition, and the side that runs out first loses. And all indicators, all of them, point to the fact that Iran is running out. But if Iran is running out of munitions, something very different is happening here in the United States when it comes to gold. We are amassing it, right? Have you seen this? The Trump administration has just sealed a gold deal with none other than, ding, ding, Venezuela. They're exporting as much as 1,000 kilograms of gold to the United States. And we're hardly alone. Australia's been loading up. Saudi Arabia is buying the world's largest gold mine to supply itself. And even tiny Singapore recently added more than 100 metric tons of gold to its vault. This is at least in part why the price of gold is skyrocketing past $5,000 for the first time ever. And many experts are arguing we ain't seen nothing yet. So that's why I recently reached out to Augusta Precious Metals. And gang, they taught me things I didn't even know were possible. I had no idea you could hold physical gold and silver inside your IRA or 401k. It's not some loophole or gimmick. It's been in the tax code for decades. 100% legal way to bring real stability back into your retirement. That conversation changed everything for me. I've spoken with Augusta's education team multiple times. Now, I met with Devlin Steele, their director of education. These guys are the real deal, and they know how to explain it so you actually understand. So here's what I recommend you do. The same thing I did. Go to turleybuysgold.com or text Turley to 35052. That's 35052. Talk to an educator at Augusta and tell them Steve Turley sent you. They'll cover up to 10 years of your custodial and depository fees. Listen, I've done the research for you. These guys at Augusta taught me everything I needed to know. Text Turley to 35052. Tell them I sent you. You will not be disappointed. Think about it this way. Iran entered this war with roughly 2,500 ballistic missiles. They've already fired over 500 of them and more than 2,000 drones. And that's on top of the hundreds they used against Israel in June. They burned through at least 20% of their missile stockpile in less than a week. And that JINSA analysis, that Jewish Institute analysis, they're saying Iran could lose its ability to fire medium-range ballistic missiles at Israel entirely within the next few days to a week. Meanwhile, the U.S. has struck over 2,000 targets across Iran. B-1, B-2, B-52 strategic bombers are pounding missile sites. F-22 and F-35 stealth fighters own the skies. And General Kane, the chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, he just announced that the U.S. is now expanding operations. They're striking deeper and deeper into Iranian territory. So things are intensifying. The throttle is coming up, not down. The Supreme Leader Khamenei is dead. Over 48 top Iranian leaders have been wiped out in the joint U.S.-Israeli operations. The Assembly of Experts has been decimated. A leadership crisis, the likes of which the regime has never seen, has engulfed what's left of that regime. There are now reportedly two different voices coming out of Tehran. One faction wants scorched earth across the Middle East, while the other is far more conciliatory, represented by that deputy foreign minister's stunning nuclear concession. So the regime appears to be fracturing from within, even as it's being obliterated from without. So when you step back and you look at the full picture, the secret CIA back channel begging for talks, the deputy foreign minister publicly offering to give up the nuclear program, the 86% collapse in missile fire, the Navy sitting at the bottom of the sea, 75% of launch capacity destroyed, the supreme leader dead, leadership decimated, production facilities in ruins, and the United States expanding its campaign deeper into Iranian territory and increasing its offensive, not to mention reports of Kurdish troops invading and Azerbaijan forces amassing at the border. What you're looking at, gang, is the death rattle of the Islamic Republic. The mullahs had their chance. 3 rounds of talks through Oman, multiple off-ramps, every opportunity to make a deal, and they chose arrogance. They chose defiance. They chose the nuclear bomb over peace. And now they're staring down the barrel of the most devastating military campaign since shock and awe, and the only words they can muster are, "We're ready to give it all up." But in the words of our president, too late. Hey gang, there's always more to the story, and if you want to go deeper with me, join the Courageous Patriots Club. You'll get exclusive weekly content and Monday night Q&A with patriots just like you. Click the link below, and I'll see you inside.